Michelle and I both love children, but I've always left it, whether we have more children, up to her.
We thought maybe they were done at 15 kid, but when my baby brother Jackson was 8 months old, Mom told us she was expecting number 16. The girls are psyched for another sister because with the twins, there are 6 little boys in the house, all 6 and under.
Believe it or not, when we had 5 little ones, it was much more difficult, but now we all work together as a team.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Wednesday, April 20th. There are a lot of opinions right now about what's going on with Anna Duggar and why she hasn't left Josh. And what's going on with her and the Duggars. Do they get along? Is there drama? All of that.
It's my family.
It seems like every day there's someone new from the world of the Duggars that comes forward, whether it's on Reddit or on a TikTok or via whatever tabloid about what their opinion is about the situation. On a recent AMA on the Duggar Snark board, a verified individual who claims to know the Duggars answered some questions about what's going on with the Duggars. Now, in fairness, this person says that they haven't been around the Duggars since 2015, but then was answering questions as though they were around the Duggars. So I'm kind of confused in their answers. Just wanted to give that as a caveat because on their post it says that they went to church with them and it's been a long time since they've been around them, but seemed to know quite a bit about what was going on.
Michelle and Jim Bob met when Jim Bob accompanied a friend on a visit to Michelle's house. He remembered.
So let's talk about the situation with Anna and the Duggars, because right after the court case, the Duggars said that they were going to support Anna and be there for her and take care of her following what happened with Josh. Before the trial, there was a lot of tension between Anna and the in-laws, and she'd even gotten into an argument with her brother-in-law, Austin, over an altercation of Anna confronting Carlin. Just messy. And then there was also some sort of argument between Anna and Michelle. And there was a lot of rumors going around that Anna was not really welcome in the Duggars' house, and things were very tense because Anna was blaming the Duggars for what happened to Josh.
And finally, number 1 son, Joshua Duggar. Checking in at 6 feet tall, he's the old man of the Duggar Kid clan.
Well, now we are, 4 months from the trial, and Anna is still very enmeshed with the Duggars, and she's very ingrained in their life, and she still very much believes that Josh has been framed. She very much believes that he is innocent.
His interests include video production and politics.
And in this AMA, someone who knows the Duggars or knew the Duggars basically says that Anna is a kept woman. And the reason why she is staying and tolerates the Duggars is because they're providing for her, and that she doesn't like them, but she will stay around because they're helping her out financially.
Taken before the wedding, that way we can see each other, we can be together, and we'll be able to leave faster.
Just trying to keep the main thing the main thing.
A question during the AMA asked this: do you think Anna will ever be able to distance herself and get some help to deal with the trauma of who she's married to? And she says, Anna's actually quite a savage, and she can't stand her in-laws, but they're providing for her right now, so she sticks around. I know she's the one who seems best at keeping sweet, but she'll fight a bee in private. That's actually what I've heard about her, is that she's no problems getting into arguments. And like I said, in the altercation that I was told about that happened in December, they said that Anna and Austin were like in each other's faces, screaming at each other. And they said, so she loves Josh, the P, but not his family who is providing for her. And how is her relationship with the girls that he essayed? And she said, as far as I know, she enjoys her sister-in-laws, but not the 39,000 siblings in-laws. She doesn't like Jim Bob and Michelle. And I apologize. The person uses names for them that I don't use on this channel. So she doesn't like the in-laws, but she's fine with some of the siblings. She apparently watches the Reddit, doesn't like what's said in the subreddit about her, and has gotten into arguments with Jana and Laura. And apparently this person does not like Jana and says that Jana's a horrible human being and she's the worst of the worst. And that's actually not what I've heard from other people. So I guess it depends on who you are and how you are in this world and what they say. Most people say that Jana's really sweet but very quiet. This begs the question of this is what I was told by a source back in December, was that the Duggars are basically going to pay for Anna, and that now that Josh is gone, Anna is going to be financially dependent on them. One of the things that I was told that had happened allegedly after the 2015 scandal was that Anna did consider divorcing Josh and didn't want to stick around. And apparently a source I spoke to alleged that they offered a home to Anna so that she would stay, and that as long as she stayed, they would pay for her home. My source also had told me that over the years, as Josh was sort of meandering around and pretending like he was a politician, he was still financially dependent on his parents, and he's never not been financially dependent on his parents, and that his parents were basically funding his life, and that he never would have had the affluence that he had without the help of Jim Bob and Michelle. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised that now that they're in a specific situation where Josh is locked up, that Anna would just stick around and continue to live off of Jim Bob and Michelle. Now, if I'm being completely honest, if you are Anna and you don't like your in-laws and you believe that, say my source is correct, that Jim Bob and Michelle are the reason that Josh is the way he is and this is why things happen around him, why would you then want to put your children around your in-laws? If you are so concerned about how bad of parents they are and you don't like them, why would you want to be around them and let them pay for you? Because you don't want to work? Now, I understand that some people will say, well, she has 7 kids, it's impossible to get a job, and she would never be able to do it. And I feel like when you speak in absolutes like that, it makes it so that a woman in that situation could literally never leave. Women leave that have multiple kids all the time, and having 7 kids doesn't mean that she can't get a job. Having 7 kids doesn't mean that she can't find a way to provide for herself. And having 7 kids doesn't mean that she has to stay in a situation where she's being funded by people that she doesn't like. It feels to me like, if this is what's being said is true about Anna, that she would rather just stay in a situation where it's the easiest for her rather than have to do the work. And that actually matches what some sources have told me about Anna, is that she just doesn't want to work. She wants to be a mom. She wants to stay at home. She doesn't want to have a job. And now that Josh isn't going to be around to provide for her, rather than go out and get a job, she would rather just stay under lock and key by her in-laws. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I highly doubt that the Duggars would ever let the grandkids go. I feel like the Duggars are in a situation where they really look at those kids as an extension of their own, because it's Josh's children and they love Josh more than seemingly any of the other children. So I feel like, too, Anna probably feels like she can't leave because there would be some sort of like fight between them about the kids, and her money train would be up. Anna grew up in Florida, and her parents are even more radicalized than the Duggars. I know that's ridiculous to believe, but her parents grew up in a world where her dad would go to prisons and he did prison ministry, and he wrote these books about addiction and believed that he could cure addiction. And he literally was so enamored at the Duggars' fame. It was so evident in their wedding videos that you could tell that they just loved the fact that the Duggars were famous. And Anna went from living in Florida in a single wide trailer on property. Now, mind you, Anna's parents live in a mobile home, but they have quite a bit of land, and they have quite a few amenities, and they have, they have plenty of like things to do on that property. So it's not as though she's super poor, but it's like she wouldn't have the space to go back to her parents. And if she went to, say, Texas, David and Priscilla certainly can't absorb her. And if it's true that she doesn't want to work and doesn't want to have to do anything, the easiest route is to stay with her wealthy in-laws and stick it out with Josh and just pretend like Josh didn't do anything wrong. In the fundamentalist world, like Anna, it's probably easier for her to like seriously not have to think about what he did. But I seriously don't understand how anyone could have sat through that evidence and watched it and been like, didn't happen. There is 8 volumes of thousands of pages of transcripts of what happened in court, and Anna sat through all of that evidence. Through that evidence, it was clear that content was found on his computer. It was clear that even his attorneys knew that stuff was found on his computer. And the attorneys never were arguing that it wasn't found on the computer. They just wanted people to believe it wasn't Josh who put it on the computer and that it was somebody else. And so she would rather believe that even though there's time-stamped evidence that he was on this computer, even though his name is in the partition, his password matches the partition's password, even though he's spoken with friends about the partition, even though he had Covenant Eyes on there and he needed to get a way around it, even though he had the dark web on his computer, even though he had the dark web on his phone and he was browsing really gross content the day of the raid, she would rather ignore all of that and just stay a kept woman. And that to me feels very scary if you're a mother that has children, because you're ignoring everything and you're not looking at the truth. And I really get so tired of people when they say that you can't break free from things, because then you're like, you're making her an infant that's incapable of growth. So either she will never break free and she'll just stay ignorant because she can't, because she's incapable, because that's what people want to say about indoctrination, which I know is factually not true. Or people just don't want to believe that she is this ignorant and that she's making these choices. Because the truth is, even if she's a victim of Josh, she's victimizing her kids by not giving them a better life and not divorcing their father. By continuing to have him in their life, even if it's through video chats or even conversations, those kids are at risk. And this is my opinion. And the kids are at risk just being in the home of the Duggars. So really, is Anna any better in that she doesn't want to leave and she would rather just put up with the crap because the Duggars are paying? Or is it true that she really can't break free from this indoctrination? If she's as smart as everyone tells me she is, and if she is like as assertive as everyone tells me that she is, why isn't she asserting the rights for her kids? That's what I want to know. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.